Alright lads, how you doing? It's your boy Glenn. Welcome to another Game Jam. Today we're playing episode number 2 of our brand new series Futmillionaire, where the goal is extremely simple. We are going to trade, we're going to buy players, sell players, etc. and go all the way from 500 FIFA coins, which is what you start with when you start a new Ultimate Team, all the way up to 1 million coins. If you've never seen this series before, click the first link in the description. It'll say catch this series from the start. So at the moment our balance is 6,851. This is what we left the last video on. So in terms of the basic premise of trading, I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but today we're going to go from that kind of 6,000 mark up to 20,000 coins in this video, and it only takes about 13, 14, 15 roughly trades, obviously depending who you're trading, but this video it's all about starting small and doing small profits over time. Compounded makes you a lot of money in this game. So first of all, we're starting out searching for gold players in the Premier League. It's my personal favorite league to do it in because it's the one that I have the most knowledge in, and it seems at the moment on FIFA 16 that the gold players in the Premier League are the ones who are getting the most amount of money. So after searching around for a little bit, I found this Ibarbo. You can see there's currently a bid on him for 3,300. His buy it now, his lowest buy it now that I can find is 4,000. Now I'm pretty confident that I could sell an Ibarbo for around that amount. So we're going to go over to the transfer list. Let's search for Ibarbo. Like I said, I'm confident it'll sell around 3.9k. And here we set the max bid, the max bin, which is buy it now. Now, understand that FIFA, whenever you sell anything, there's an EA tax, and it's roughly 5%. So the way to do that is move the decimal point 1 point to the right and then halve it, basically. So if we set a maximum bid at 3.5k, FIFA tax is about 170, so there is a bit of a profit in that. 3.5 plus 170 is about roughly 3,700, and I reckon they'll sell around 3.9. So I was looking for these players. Anyone who pops up is going to be 3.5k or below, and as you can see, we bag our first Ibarbo 3.5k. We're going to list him back on the market for around 3.8, 3.9. That's going to get us, it's only going to get us maybe 100, 200 profit. However, like I did say in the last video, this is a slow and steady process. It's not something where you can just like blast through it in 5 hours. It's something that takes a bit of time. As you can see, we miss an Ibarbo for 700. That would have been absolutely massive because that would have been, 3,000 plus profit. Then we miss one for 3,300, which again would be 500-600 profit. But then we bag an Ibarbo for 3,300, which is great because when you're setting your bin at this kind of level, anyone who comes in below that, so you might get a guy, who's only listed for 500. There is so much potential to make a massive amount of profit by people listing players where they don't really know what they're doing. So we bag another Ibarbo, 3.3k. We list him for 3.8 with the buy it now at 3.9. As you can see, our balance is now 51 FIFA coins. From the transfer list, you can see here both Ibarbo sold for 3.9k. They sold on the first time round of asking, and this Sejudo guy, he sold for a couple of hundred. So our balance is already 8,269. We've gone up, just under a couple of thousand. So again, we're going to search for Premier League gold players. All we're looking for here is players who have a bid on. Obviously, it means people are interested in them. They're selling. There's a bit of movement in the market. So we see here an Azpilicueta. He's got a bid of 5.9. He's got a bin of 7.2. Now, the question you have to ask yourself in this situation, based on how much money we have, we could buy an Azpilicueta, but it's going to be pretty much all of our balance. But obviously, the bigger the player you buy, the higher profits. So we're going to set our parameters for Spanish players in Chelsea. Now, the reason that I'm doing this specifically is obviously Azpilicueta is Spanish, but if someone screws up on listing, for example, a Diego Costa, and he comes in under our parameters, then we can catch them. It's quite rare that happens. It doesn't happen very often. However, when it does, the potential for profits on those mistakes by people are absolutely huge. So as you can see, we miss an Azpilicueta for 5,100. That would probably be like a few thousand in profit realistically, but we do bag an Azpilicueta 6,000. Bearing in mind the lowest bin on the market is 7.2 thousand, so we're going to list him up for 7,000 with a buy it now of 7,100. The reason that we're doing that is because we're lower than pretty much everyone else on the market, which means there's a better chance of that player selling. And in that, you know, excluding EA tax, you're looking at 1,000 coins profit straight away. So our balance right now is 2,269, which doesn't look great, but we've got a lot of money in assets. Now, what you got to understand in this situation is that we want to get money to work for us. So the extra money that we have in our balance right now, we want to use that. I mean, the minimum transfer you can do obviously is an hour, and we want to just have that money working for us, making us, even though they are small profits at the moment, making as much as that as possible. So I'm going to search for Zuma because I know that on the market Zuma is going around about anywhere from 2.5 to 3k. So we're going to look at 2.2k. Again, we're doing that calculation where 10% of 2,200 is 220, meaning that 5% is 110. So we're taking the absolute maximum that we can possibly pay for him and taking that balance off that, so that when EA taxes us, we're still in profit. So we miss a Zuma for 1.8k, which is really unfortunate. However, we do bag a Zuma at 2.1k, list him up for 2.7 with a buy now of 2.8. As you can see, our balance is 169. What that means is that we have to wait now until these players sold. So as you can see, a lot of these players have sold. Aspilicueta has gone for the full 6.9 bin. Zuma didn't hit the bin, but we still made around 600 coins. So as you can see, within 4 trades, our balance is up to 11,712, which is almost double what we started with. So next up, one little point of advice here is that if you find a player that, you know, does well for you and makes X amount of profit consistently, you know, instead of jumping up levels and going for bigger guys, you're best just keeping going for these small guys who you know you can make profit off consistently. And so I'm searching for Man City players. As you can see, there's Clichy here with a bid of 2.9. Like, there's a 10,000 buy it now on him, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to search exclusively for Clichy because I know that, you know, you can get him quite cheap and you can make, say, 300-400 every time off Clichy. So there's lots of 3.2k bins on the market for Clichy. So we're going to be looking anywhere under 2.9. Again, that's that calculation again. So we know that after EA have taxed us, there's profit. And as you can see, we miss a 900, which is frustrating because that would have been 2,000 profit on Clichy, but we do bag ourselves a 2.8k Clichy. We're going to list him up at 3.4 to 3.4k, which is a little bit more than what the market expects, but of course, if no one buys it, you can always bring it down. And then we miss quite a few in a row. We miss buy it now for 2,000, we miss a buy it now for 2,700, we also ridiculously miss a buy it now for 1,800, which says to me that this is a popular player. There's other people trying to get him, but we do manage to bag one. This is our 6th trade. We buy it now at 2.9. Again, we sell it up at 3.3 to 3.4. We list it at 3.3, bin at 3.4. Our total now is 6,012, and this is probably the deal of the video. We managed to bag ourselves a Clichy for 1.9k. Buy it now. We list him up at 3.3, a bin at 3.4, which means there's about 1,500 profit in there. Then we miss a 1,300 Clichy. We miss a 2,000 Clichy. We miss another 2,000 Clichy, and then we managed to bag our 4th one, Clichy, 2.9k. We list him up at 3.3, the buy it now at 3.4. So at the moment, we've got 4 Clichys up for sale, and our balance is 1,212. Now, at the time I was recording this, the Clichys weren't selling at 3.4, so I dropped the bin from 3.4 down to 3.3, and all of them sold either 3.2 or 3.3, so they did eventually sell. Our balance is 10,617, and we're going back to the Clichys. Look, the Clichys sell really well. We bag another for 2.8k, list them up at 3.2 to 3.3. Again, it's only a couple of hundred profit after the tax has gone through. However, profit is profit. Next up, we pick up an Aspilicueta Gladiator card for 5.7k. We list him at 6.3, buy it now at 6.4. That's going to give us roughly 500 to 600 profit on that. With the money that we have left, we buy another Zuma at 1.8k, list him up for 2.4 to 2.5, so that's going to give us anywhere 500 to 600 profit on that one. Then we buy a Clichy at 2.8, list him at 3.2, and buy it now at 3.3. Again, another couple of hundred coins. Again, we find another cliche, this one at 2.4, so that profit's already locked in based on the fact that we didn't pay full price for him. So in that, there's probably 600 or 700 profit. And Zuma, we find another one at 1.5k. We list him up for 2.3, 2.4. It's interesting because Zuma is obviously less, like in terms of value. However, if you get them low enough, we actually make more money from the Zuma than we do from the cliches that we've been buying. So as you can see, 2 cliches have sold. We've reinvested that money. Our balance is now 18,923. Most of those players went for the buy it now. Like, there's no hard or fast rule for the buy it now. Like, a lot of guys will say, oh, just go 100 below the lowest on the market. However, I tend to go a little bit higher than the bin on the market, and then if it doesn't sell, just bring it down. Now, looking at this, Martial from United go around 4.7 buy it now. So anything kind of 4.5 or below is all pure profit to us. So we're kind of moving up the stakes. We're going for a little bit more expensive players, and we actually bag quite a lot of Martials here. We get one for 4.4k. We list him up for 5.1 with a 5.3 bin, which means if he sells, that's going to be around 800 profit for us. We get another Martial, again 4.4k. Again, we list him up for 5.1 with a 5.3 buy it now. We get another Martial, 4.3, so that's 100 less than the other two that we got. We list them up for 5.1, 5.3, and again, just to finish it off, we get another Martial, 4.4k. We list him up for 5.1 and put him at a buy it now of 5.3. Now, all of these players having been sold, bearing in mind we started this video on 6,000 whatever it was, our balance is now 22,597. So we've essentially quadrupled our money in less than 20 trades. So as you can see, the 2 cliches sold, 4 Martial sold. That means that the total profit in this video, considering we started at 6,851, we're up to 22,597. That's 15,746 coins profit in this video by doing this exact method that you've just watched me do in front of your eyes. Now, the point is this. Now that you kind of understand the method, you understand how it's done, and I don't proclaim to have made this method. You know, other people are doing it in different ways, searching in different ways, have different parameters in the transfer market, but the idea is essentially the same, which is buying as low as we can and selling for as high as we can. Now, going through this process, you know, we're over 20,000 now. As we move up and we go for more and more profit, the process is going to be exactly the same, which is finding the buy it nows in a certain market, buying them for below, and, you know, selling them on for higher. So let's say we find a player for 20 grand, we might be able to sell him for 26, 27 and make that 6,000 or 7,000 profit. But it's rinse and repeat. We're going to be doing the same thing. It's a very, very good structure and a very, very good basis for making free money, basically, on FIFA. And without going on too much of a tangent, you can also do this in real life, you know, whether if you're in business or whatever. Like, this is what it's all based on: buy low, sell high. So I'm going to leave this video here. It's not going to be too long. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you're going to kind of follow along with this series and actually implement it yourself so that you can start making your own coins. If you enjoyed this video, give that like button a good old crack from me. I'm going to be proper ambitious. If we can get 40 likes, it will mean that you guys are fucking awesome. If you're new around here, make sure you kick the shit out of that subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, drop me a follow at GameJamHD. The same applies for Facebook. Come and give me a look up. And also, I want to know your best trades, your best players to trade. Let me know what you think of this series, how it can be improved, etc. Let me know all of this in the comment section below. I do read, I promise you, I do read every single comment that gets left on any of my videos, and I love interacting with you guys. And if this series can be improved in any way, or you think there's any players that you'd like to see me go out and get for a certain price, I'm totally up for that. So make sure you get commenting in the comment section below. Have a great day wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you out.